They shoved her aside. It wasn't dramatic. No slow motion. No music swelling in the background. Just a crowded hangar, raised voices, and a moment that passed so quickly most people didn't even notice it had happened. A woman stepped forward, calm and focused, and someone brushed past her, muttering that she was in the way. Another voice laughed and said, "Let the professionals handle this." And just like that, she was pushed to the edge of the room, invisible. Outside, the storm was closing in. The radio crackled with urgency. A rescue was needed, now. A family was stranded beyond the mountains, floodwaters rising, daylight fading fast. The kind of mission where hesitation costs lives. The kind of mission that separates titles from truth, assumptions from ability. The room buzzed with confidence. Charts were spread out. Opinions were shared loudly. Experience was announced, almost like a competition. And still, no one looked at her. No one asked her name. No one wondered why she was there. She waited. Not because she lacked confidence, but because she didn't need to announce it. She knew who she was. She knew what she could do. She had trained for this moment in silence, in long nights of study, in early mornings before anyone else arrived. She had logged the hours, mastered the routes, learned how to fly when instruments fail and fear takes over. She knew how to keep a steady hand when everything else is shaking. But the world has a habit of deciding what people are capable of before they ever speak. So they kept talking. They kept assuming. And then someone finally asked the question that mattered most: who's flying the rescue? The room fell quiet. Names were offered. One was unavailable. Another had already flown too many hours. A third hesitated, glancing at the weather report, the dark clouds pressing closer on the screen. Time slipped away. And then, from the edge of the room, a calm voice cut through the noise. "I am." Heads turned. Eyebrows raised. Doubt filled the space before words did. Someone said, "Are you sure?" Someone else said, "This isn't a training run." Another voice added, "We can't afford mistakes." She stepped forward again. This time, no one shoved her aside. She didn't argue. She didn't raise her voice. She simply stated facts. Her certification. Her flight hours. Her experience in conditions worse than these. She spoke with the confidence of someone who didn't need permission to be capable. The room changed. Not because she suddenly became qualified, but because they suddenly realized she always had been. She was the rescue pilot. As the helicopter lifted into the storm, the wind howling and rain striking the windshield like a challenge, she focused on what mattered. Every decision was precise. Every movement intentional. Fear existed, yes, but it did not lead. Training did. Purpose did. Far below, people were waiting. Not wondering who would save them. Just hoping someone would. She navigated through darkness and doubt, through turbulence and noise, through the kind of pressure that reveals who you truly are. And when she reached them, when she brought them home safely, there was no applause in the sky. Just quiet relief. Just lives continuing. Back on the ground, the same people who had overlooked her stood watching as the engine powered down. No one laughed. No one spoke over her. Respect settled in, not because she demanded it, but because she earned it in the only way that truly lasts. And that is why this story matters. Because it is not just about a pilot. It is about how often we shove people aside without realizing who they are. How often we mistake confidence for competence, volume for value, appearance for ability. How often we assume that leadership must look a certain way, sound a certain way, come from a certain kind of person. And how wrong we can be. Some of the most capable people in the room are not the loudest. Some of the strongest voices speak calmly. Some of the greatest leaders wait, not because they are unsure, but because they know their moment will come. This story is a reminder to look again. To listen more closely. To question our assumptions before they cost us something important. And it is also a message to anyone who has ever been pushed aside, talked over, underestimated, or ignored. You do not need to become louder to become worthy. You do not need to change who you are to be capable. You do not need permission to prepare yourself for greatness. Keep learning. Keep training. Keep believing in your ability, even when others don't see it yet. Because one day, the moment will come. The storm will rise. The need will be urgent. And the room will fall silent, waiting for someone who can handle what comes next. And when you step forward, they won't see the person they once shoved aside. They will realize you were the rescue all along.